Happy 4th of July. We're glad you can celebrate with us today as we do a little shooting in honor of our American heritage. The boys and I wanted to do this and show you how we kind of celebrate the 4th down here. We just got home from church a little bit ago, and as you can see, I've dressed myself as a patriot militiaman, sort of down here in the South during the time of the American Revolution. And we're going to shoot a little bit, and the gun I've got here, this is a Long Land Pattern Brown Bess Musket, which would have been used by our Loyalist and Patriot forces during the American Revolution. Let me talk to you a little bit how this gun is loaded. So it fires a round ball, so there's no rifling in this barrel at all. It is a smoothbore Flintlock musket. It is 75 caliber, and it is loaded from a paper cartridge like this. And how the soldiers at this time period would have loaded them is very simple. The gun would be brought to the half cock, the paper cartridge will be torn, and a measure of powder poured into the pan. This is your priming solution. You don't want to skimp on this. The gun would then be cast about, and the rest of the charge and the ball with the paper acting as a wadding would then be rammed home. This is a 75 caliber musket, but it is firing a 69 caliber ball in order to have plenty of room for that ball to be rammed down. And then the next command would usually be given to present, or on the American side, take aim and then fire. So I'll let Nate call those out for me.
Make ready. Present. Fire.
All right, and if you can look at our target, we've got a couple hits on him. I can see one, Nate. Did that other ball hit?
I'm checking.
You checking? All right, well, he's checking.
I don't think so. No.
I think so. All right, we'll give him another shot. And we'll do one more shot from the musket down there. As you can tell, that last shot, there was a little bit of a delay. That's the problem with the Flintlock system, is there is a lot of delay sometimes between the trigger pull, the primer ignition, and then the main charge. These guns were not made for accuracy, they were made for speed. Ready?
Make ready. Present. Fire.
That one did a little bit better.
Yep. Second hit. Straight through his...
All right, so that would be a dead Loyalist. These muskets would have been used by our militiamen at Lexington and Concord all throughout the American Civil War. But that's not the best weapon that our founding fathers took to the field during the American Revolution. Let me show you something else. It's a little more interesting. And that is the American Longrifle. This was a weapon that was used predominantly here in America. The Europeans used them as well. The Germans had a shorter version called a Jaeger rifle, and that's kind of the German immigrants that came to America. That's kind of where this came from, was developed from those Jaeger rifles, but it is much longer. It is almost the exact same size as our musket. The difference is it is rifle. Now, how this gun is loaded is very, very, very different. So what you'll see is I'm wearing several powder horns, and what first happens is a measure of powder is poured down the barrel. Now I've got a horn that is hollowed out, and that's my powder measure. So we'll load a charge of powder, just like so. And we want to make sure you cap that because you don't want that going off.
Or getting wet.
Or getting wet. And you pour that charge down the barrel. And the next part is a little bit tricky. Unlike the musket, you don't have pre-measured paper cartridges. You have loose powder and loose ball. So then you'll have to take a round ball from your hunting bag and or possibles bag as they called it, and then a patch. Now these are pre-greased patches, pre-measured, pre-cut, well, pre-trimmed really, and then the patch is seated, and then the ball is seated on top of the patch. Now as you can tell, it fits a lot tighter, so that's why they have this. This is what they call a short starter, and it's basically made to short start the ball. And then the wooden ramrod, this is not metal, this is hickory, then finishes and it goes home. So that is how the long rifle is loaded, and then like any flint firearm, it then has to be primed. I've got a separate flask that has fine 4F priming powder. Should be a little bit quicker. That is placed in the pan. Pan is closed. And now, because this is a rifle, I've got two options. I've got a set trigger, which will give me a lighter discharge, and then fire. Uh-oh.
Flash in the pan.
So that was very common during the American Revolution with these weapons. The grease on the flint did not cause a spark. So, let's try again. I think that got him.
I think
So.
there's a hole. A little low, but there's a hole.
So we're going to load up another shot. Give her another one. Now, the disadvantages of the rifle, I think by now are clear. They are much, much slower to load. The infantryman with a musket would already have another shot off, but the rifleman, it just takes that much longer to get a shot off. Now this is not a pre-lube patch, so I'm going to do what they also did, is they called spit lubing. If they didn't have a pre-lube patch to load their musket with, they would simply stick it in their mouth, and that would spit lube the patch. And the reason you need that lubricant is to aid in the ball going down as much as it also is in it coming up. What that does is that keeps that black powder falling soft. So that way you can load multiple shots, because that powder leaves a lot of dirty residue. As you can tell, it's already in the pan. Now the disadvantage in the rifle is much slower loading. But it gains
Another hole.
in accuracy. As you can tell, those two shots for the rifle are kind of grouped, whereas the shots from the musket are
Not
pretty
grouped.
far apart, and that second shot didn't hit the target at all. So you have a problem with the Flintlock musket being inaccurate, especially at longer ranges. We're less than 50 yards, so you know we should be able to hit that with that musket. The rifle, though, is grouping its shots. It's spinning that ball. That ball is going to be much more accurate at longer ranges. And if I could hold it much more steady, you know, I'm still recovering from the rotator cuff surgery, so this is the first time I've been able to get out and do this, so I'm kind of excited. But you can see the rifle at longer ranges is much more accurate, much more deadly. But we Americans are nothing if not ingenious. So let me shift back over to the smoothbore real quick. Now, what we as Americans did is we decided one ball going downrange is good. 5 going downrange is much better. So we developed this round called buck and ball. So basically it is a 69, well in this case this is a 64 caliber ball because this was loaded for a 69 caliber musket. 64 caliber ball and 4 30 caliber buckshots. So it loads in exactly the same fashion as the regular. Little priming. Shut the pan. Only this time we are going to reverse, put that down. Now this should make a pretty picture on that target. I'm hoping. All right, Nate, walk me through.
Make ready. Present. Fire.
Oh, didn't spark. Again, misfire, very common.
Make ready. Present. Fire.
Oh, again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. So again, you'll notice I've got a lot of tools and accoutrements. And that is really made to keep these weapons working. All right, Nate?
Make ready. Present. Fire. Oh. There's like 5 holes in that.
Yeah, let's go take a look and see what our buck and ball did. So as you can see, we got another
Like 3 hits.
major shot, but we got a buckshot hit there, and then we got another buckshot there. And that was a rifle, and then that was a musket, and I think a rifle shot as well. So that buck and ball would be devastating. All right, so we got one more thing to show you guys.
I need to get closer range.
Here we go. You want to do one closer range?
No, I mean with the other weapon.
We'll shoot one more buck and ball at close range and see what happens, just because we got him. Ready? Count it out.
Make ready. Present. Fire.
Oh, not again. See, now this time the wind took that priming. So if I was a regular line soldier, I'd have to tear open another cartridge. Because I got all this other accoutrements, we just prime from the horn. All right.
Make ready. Present. Fire. Oh. Ouch.
So now you got another hit, buckshot, and yeah, there's 2 of the 4. There's the 3rd buckshot. So buckshot. So 3 out of the 4 buckshots hit him. So at close range, that'd be even devastating. But remember, these soldiers would be standing close together, so that buckshot's going to spread. So you got a large projectile, 4 small ones. You got a better chance of hitting not just one, but multiple targets. So the last benefit to the smoothbore musket and the reason why most of your soldiers had one was this right here, the bayonet. Foul weather, windy weather, you know, shooting on Sundays, you know, these things could be very finicky. They wouldn't always work. They would have misfires. As you've seen, we've had several misfires already today. So one thing for sure, this worked every time. As a militiaman in the colonies, I would not always have a bayonet, but your regular soldiers would, your continental line soldiers would, and your British would have these. And these were fearsome, because when a redcoat came at you with a bayonet, he wasn't going to miss. So that has been our weapons demonstration and our celebration of 4th of July, except for one last weapon. The Flintlock Pistol. Now for this, we're going to have to go close. Now this is loaded in exactly the same way. As the others. The only difference is it uses a much smaller powder charge. Only doing about 30 grams. And now many of you probably will watch The Patriot, or you've seen the movie The Patriot, and one thing that really irks me, and Nate will tell you, it irks me, is the scene where Jason Isaacs' character shoots that man while he's on horseback with a pistol from like 50, 60, 100 yards away. That was not likely to happen. These were extremely inaccurate.
And heavy.
And very heavy. Loaded the exact same way. But we're about 7 yards, 10 yards from our target. From old Redcoat Jim. And that's about as close as you want to get. Yep. Again, misfire, and a lot of these because they've been cleaned.
There's a hole.
And there you have it. Yeah, high hole. See, even at that range, I missed him. So I think we deserve a second shot.
Yep.
All right, second shot. This time we're going to wrap the ball in a patch and see if that doesn't help us. So as we celebrate the 4th of July, we want to remember those who fought, gave their life for our independence and our freedom as a people. And the fact that they used weapons like this, in weather and heat like this, dressed like this, shows just what kind of men they were.
Yep. There's a hole in them.
Yeah, it was a little bit better.
Right about neck.
Yep, right here. Yep. But I was aiming down here. So anyway, thanks so much for watching and for being our friends and family, because this is live on Facebook. And we just wish you all a happy and safe 4th of July. And just wanted you to enjoy kind of how we celebrate the 4th around here, and look at some of the weapons that made our independence possible. And we love you guys, and we hope to see you guys, talk to you guys soon. Take care. Happy 4th of July.